Hello my lovely Leo friends, and welcome to your new moon lunar cycle insight video for the Aquarius new moon. So this is an exciting month of all planets moving direct. So this is a nice acceleration of energy that allows us to really start to initiate new beginnings after the heaviness and density of the end of 2018 and of course January's eclipse season. And for you in particular, Leo, this new moon finishes up the eclipse cycle that has been taking place in your sign for 18 months. So last month we had a full moon lunar eclipse in your sign, which I'm sure you remember because it was a very intense blood moon. And as we close that lunar cycle and begin anew with the Aquarius new moon, we have fully closed that door, moved on from that Leo Aquarius eclipse cycle. So this is the first Aquarius lunation that you've had in nearly 2 years, which hasn't been an eclipse, which hasn't been rocking the foundations of your relationships. So for you in particular, this is a nice new beginning. So of course, this new moon falls in your 7th house, Leo, your house of partnership, your house of meeting the other, meeting yourself through the mirror of another. And Aquarius is the sign of community, of collaboration, connection. It's the web, the etheric web that draws people together, that draws synchronicity and opportunities. So this initiates a fresh new start in your relationships. So utilize the energy of this new moon, Leo, to call forward the new vision, the new opportunities, the new connections that you would like to make with people, for healing your relationships, for healing your community. So really, really think about how you would like your relationships to unfold over the coming cycle, and then set that into motion. And be aware of new people that come into your life, perhaps in a romantic way, perhaps it's a business partnership or a business offer or a new circle, some kind of community that you feel called to join. And take those opportunities and run with them. Accept what is being offered. You've earned it. You've done so much clearing you've done so much clearing around balancing your needs with the needs of other people over the past few years, and now is the time for you to really begin again from a different space of awareness. I would imagine that you have changed the way you relate and connect a lot over the past couple of years. I would imagine that there has been some quite significant changes in your partnerships, in your friendships, in relationships of every kind for you. So it's an exciting start to the month. And the next shift that we have is Mercury coming into Pisces on the 10th of February. So Mercury is going to head into Pisces, into your 8th house of intimacy, where he will be going retrograde next month. So this lunar cycle is open. We're free to move ahead. Next new moon, the Pisces new moon, Mercury is stationing. Uranus is changing signs. So let's make the most of the peace and clarity while we have it. So Mercury is going to be going through the 10th house, where he may be, bringing up some old emotional patterns, some old emotional programs. The 8th house is the house of the deep subconscious. It's the underworld place of the birth chart, very connected with Scorpio and Pluto. It's where our hidden desires and fears tend to lurk. So Mercury here can make that make you really feel like you want to connect with others in this deep way. Perhaps you want to speak about some of your innermost feelings. Perhaps you're going to feel inspired to write or to create something that is a reflection of your emotions, that helps you to release something that you've been holding on to. But just be aware what is rising, the patterns, the programs, the feelings, because they're going to come up to be cleansed when Mercury begins to move backwards. And the Sun is going to join Mercury here on the 18th as well. So very much this month, the energy of relationship and intimacy, soul growth and transformation is being activated for you, Leo. On the 13th of February, we have Mars, who has been moving through your fellow fire sign Aries in your 9th house, fiery space of the birth chart, bringing you new ideas, new inspirations, bigger visions, optimism, passion, reigniting you since the beginning of the year. And Mars is about to make his transition into Taurus, which will happen on Valentine's Day. But before he does, he's going to conjunct Uranus. This won't happen again in Aries for another 84 years, so it's significant. And for you, this is happening in that 9th house of higher wisdom, higher learning, higher teaching, where we connect in with the wisdom of the cosmos. So this can bring through some sudden breakthroughs, some sudden realizations, perhaps a awakening or a aha moment that helps you to liberate yourself from some old pattern or idea that has been holding you back. It's quite a fierce, fiery energy, and if you have planets in the final degrees of Leo, you'll be feeling this as a trine as well. So Mars is going to cross that threshold from Aries into Taurus into your 10th house. So the ideas, the inspirations, the new vision that is coming through now has to be grounded and anchored. Mars in Taurus is a very steady, tenacious energy that can provide us with a lot of stamina in the area of our birth chart that it is occurring in. And Mars hasn't been in this space of your birth chart for 2 years, Leo. So this is a really exciting transit for you to begin to channel some energy, channel some passion into building your purpose. The 10th house is all about our purpose, our career, our ambitions, how we are perceived in the world, whether we're perceived as successful or, as a leader of some sort, how people in positions of authority might perceive us. Perhaps we're in a position of authority and we need to make some changes. Mars is going to bring through that energy, that stamina, that focus in Taurus for you to do that. It can also make you think about how you're being valued in your career, how you are using your time and energy, if you're being appreciated, if you're being compensated for that. It can really ask you, how much do you feel you are worth, and what do you really value? What holds value to you? What has deep meaning for you in the area of career and purpose? And are you using your energy to really manifest that? So extra stamina to reach your career goals in a nutshell for you over the next 6 weeks, Leo. So as I said, the Sun is going to come into Pisces on the 18th of February into that 8th house where Mercury is already. And as the Sun comes into Pisces, illuminating this dark space of your birth chart, it will oppose the full moon in Virgo, which is going to fall on the 19th of February. And this full moon is going to be in your 2nd house, which is also connected with the energies of Taurus and Venus. So it's the area of your birth chart where you build your financial security, where you receive prosperity, and of course how much we value ourselves and our gifts and our time, our energy, our talents is deeply intertwined with how much we allow ourselves to receive for our offerings, for our work. So this supermoon in Virgo can bring a wave of detoxification on both the emotional and the physical levels. So it can be a time when we're really aware of the resources that we share with others financially, intimately. It can bring through clarity and show us where we need to make changes or declutter our relationships and our finances. Virgo is the sign of structure and organization. So if we're leaking time and energy, if we are not being organized in the way that we do our work, if we're not being productive, if we're not having equal amounts of giving and receiving going on in these areas of our life, then there may be changes that need to be made. But it will make you very, very aware of that and aware of practical solutions, aware of your power to make these changes if they need to be made, Leo. So it can be an emotional full moon, and for all of us collectively, this is the axis of healing, purification, and detoxification. So a huge release, a huge awareness coming in of the emotional, spiritual and psychic clutter that we have been carrying and needs to be shed before we can head into the new year, the astrological new year with Aries in March. Significantly, at the time of this full moon, Chiron also changes signs. So Chiron has been moving through Aries, moving through Pisces since 2011, and he has also been in your 8th house, Leo. So this could have been a huge period for you, these past 7 or 8 years, a huge period for you of healing those deep wounds of the soul and psyche, healing the subconscious, bringing love and compassion into those dark areas of yourself. It may have been a time when you have really felt that you have been learning some lessons, healing core wounds around intimacy and sexuality and power as well. The 8th house is where our pain turns into power. So as Chiron finishes up his stay here, you may be extra aware of the need for emotional release as well. So this can be a month where there are some deep emotions bubbling up to the surface as well. And as the full moon rises, Chiron is going to come into Aries. He was there for a little bit last year between the months of April and September. And so we've had a little bit of a taste of what Chiron in Aries might be like. For you, Leo, he's going to be coming into the 9th house. So this is a very interesting transit because the 9th house is traditionally associated with Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is often associated with Chiron, with them both being this kind of wise centaur, shoot for the stars kind of energy. Chiron is the wounded healer, so he shows us where we need to take back our power, particularly in the sign of Aries, which is the sign of individuality. So we may be aware of where we've been giving our power away to unhelpful spiritual teachings or teachers or areas of study or belief systems that are no longer serving us. And this can help us call back our power to be our own teacher, our own leader. Some of you may find yourself stepping into positions where you become Chiron, where you become some kind of spiritual teacher as well. but it's really about you coming to trust your own wisdom above the wisdom of any teaching or book or guru or leader. So we notice these shifts more potently when they first happen. So when Chiron shifts at the time of this full moon, be aware of what is rising up for you, because that's going to be the theme of his journey through your 9th house until 2027. So I'm going to pick a card for you to culminate this reading, Leo. And these are from the Sacred Rebel Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. Very, very Aquarian, visionary vibe to these cards. I really like them. So let's pick a card for you. Oh, this is really nice. New birth, guarded vigilantly. And we are in the season of Imbolc. This Aquarius new moon is lunar Imbolc, which for those of us here in the Northern Hemisphere is the time of re-emergence, of new birth, new growth after the long cold winter. It's the time when these tiny tendrils of new life start to push through. And this for me feels really significant with this Aquarius new moon being, you know, bringing closure to your eclipse cycle, Leo. It's a time for you of new beginnings, but they have to be guarded vigilantly. You have to protect your tiny seedlings of new life as they grow. You have to water them with your love, you know, hold them, nourish them, tend them. And Mars in Taurus can really help you with that. It can really give you that ability to claim your worth, claim what you want to bring into being. So you have these kind of new beginnings happening in relationships, you know, new energy coming in your work and career. But we have to be aware of weeding out any self-sabotaging beliefs with Mercury and the Sun moving through Pisces and the Virgo full moon in the 2nd house. So create a pure space, create a clear space for the new to manifest into at this time, Leo. Hold yourself and your dreams in the arms of love and tenderness, you know. Nurture them like you would a small child. Thank you so much for listening to me, Leo. If you wish to connect with me further, you can click the links below this video for my Facebook offerings.